A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session. 7 English Enrichment Inputs. Before I start the session, the name of the app is Mr. Nagaraju, Murthy's English. And the link has been provided after the session. You go to the description of the video. If you go to the description of the video, you can see the link. And there you can click on that. You will get the app. As simple as that. Coming to 7 English enrichment inputs, today it is only in English, not bilingual. Thank you, Ganesh. I appreciate that. Murthy is English. Today it is the source is the Hindu Editorial, and the topic is a tragic incident. The incident is a stampede. It's all about the stampede at a particular place. And what are the words you are going to learn based on this? The very first word is stampede, because it is all about stampede. Congregation, preacher, deceased, vulnerable, solace, proactive. And if you want to improve your writing skill, not about defections, it is about stampede. You should write about any tragic incident that involves stampede specifically. And effective English, I have brought 5 idioms. You're going to work on take a back seat, swim with the tide, Pandora's box, pent up emotions, ill at ease. And grammar, important areas are there based on the editorial and grammar rules. As usual, exam topics, error, location, and idioms. Now, let us start with the source. What is this about? The editorial discusses a tragic stampede that occurred at a religious congregation, two keywords, in Hathras, Uttar Pradesh, which resulted in the loss of over 120 lives. That's a huge number. What is the tone of the editorial? Because it's a tragic incident, you should think. The tone of the editorial is critical and admonitory. Admonish. What is the meaning of the word admonish? Rebuke, reprimand, admonish, scold, chide. They all mean the same. And input one, it is related to comprehension skill, to our vocabulary based on the source. If you enrich your word power, obviously, especially effective vocabulary, you can handle all these exam topics. Let us start with the very first word, stampede. Stampede can be a noun, stampede can be a verb, meaning a sudden, frenzied, means excited rush of a group of animals or people, usually due to fear or excitement. More than excitement, it is due to fear. Sometimes it could be because of excitement, but generally it is because of fear. When they all experience fear at one particular point, they run helter skelter. Helter skelter means in different directions. Helter skelter. And that results in a chaotic situation. And some people may fall down, others may run over them, walk over them, step on them, tread on them. That results in stampede. Look at the example. The loud noise caused a stampede of cattle across the field. Usually, we don't use this word with cattle, though we see here animals. Usually, it goes with people. Whenever there's a huge congregation and proper precautions are not taken, something goes wrong that inevitably results in stampede. A rush, charge, dash. But it doesn't, all these words don't convey the actual connotation. Calm, order, retreat. And here you have to, based on the word rush, you have to recollect one idiom. What is that idiom? Make a beeline. Make a beeline for something, a rush for something. But in this context, you cannot use. Imagine a popular hero, the first day, the first show. A lot of fans rush to see the first show. Then we say the fans have made a beeline for the tickets. Context is very important in English. Congregation, we have got many a time. Congregate, verb, congregation, noun. A group of people assembled for religious worship. Congregate means to gather, to assemble. The congregation gathered every Sunday morning at the local church. Congregation gathered. Where did they gather? Where does it gather? Congregation is a collective noun. You got to be careful. Synonyms: assembly, gathering, a group. Dispersal, important word, separation, division. Yes. Preacher, teacher, preacher, two words. A teacher teaches a subject. Then comes the question, who is a preacher? Part of speech noun. A person who gives us speeches about religious subjects. One who teaches religion is known as a preacher. The preacher delivered a powerful sermon or compassion and kindness, on compassion and kindness, a lecture on compassion and kindness. Clergyman. Here you got to be careful. Clergy, not clergy. Why is it important? Along with this, you have to recollect five important examples: clergy, vermin, gentry, cattle, poultry. These nouns, there's an important rule. What is that rule? Always in singular form, but take a plural verb. In many exams, in the past they gave cattle, poultry, but nowadays they are giving gentry. The gentry has accepted something not correct. The gentry have accepted singular form, plural verb. That's an important rule you have to recollect. A lazy person, non-lay person. Lay, first we talk about a professional, a knowledgeable person, or you can say intellect, and a person who knows about the field, belongs to a particular field. Otherwise, we say he's a layman. Generally, we use the expression layman, lay person, not a professional. And pastor, you can say pastor, pastor. Pastor is British pronunciation, pastor is American pronunciation. Minister here goes with religion, not the regular meaning of the word minister. All these are very important. That's what I tell students. Contextual awareness is very important when it comes to English. Deceased. You all know the word disease as a noun, but that is a different word and this is a different word altogether. Here it could be a noun, it could be an adjective, and it could be a verb, usually noun or adjective. No longer living or dead. A dead person. The deceased was honored with a solemn ceremony. Honored, an important word. Honor. It is not honor. H is silent. Based on that, we say it is an honor, not a honor, an honor. Dead, departed, gone. Alive, living, existent. Vulnerable, we have got many a time, part of speech adjective. Susceptible to physical or emotional harm or attack. Generally, we say vulnerable people, likely to get affected, likely to get exploited. Young children are particularly vulnerable to illness or exploitation. Susceptible, defenseless, exposed, protected, invulnerable, secure, and honor. That's right. Solace, an important word, part of speech noun. Comfort or consolation in a time of distress or sadness. When you are in distress, someone says something or something comes in your favor, then you say that has been a solace. She found solace in the kind words of her friends. Usually, when you are in distress, your friends say something that elevates your spirit or your mood. Then we say, the words have been a solace. Or you find solace in someone's words. Comfort, consolation, relief. Distress, torment, an important word. Torment also means a trouble, discomfort, solacia, right? Proactive. Proactive, you all have to be proactive. An important word, it should be part of your personality, this nature, part of speech adjective. Creating or controlling a situation by causing something to happen rather than responding to it after it has happened. Simple words, proactive means taking the initiative. Take the initiative. Take the initiative. If you take the initiative and do something, that means you're proactive. Being proactive in your studies will help you succeed in school. Not only in studies, being proactive in preparation also matters a lot to get the job. We can substitute. Being proactive in your preparation will help you succeed in competitive exams. Very simple. Preventive, anticipatory, preemptive, not preventative. Not exactly. Anticipatory also not exactly. Based on the context, the meanings change. Preemptive you can consider. Reactive, passive, inactive. We have got this for the first time. Part of speech is noun. Wherewithal. Never heard of that. We don't use regular English. The means or resources to do something. He did not have the wherewithal to buy a new car. Means he could not afford the new car. He did not have enough money to buy the new car. Wherewithal, do remember, it is not easy to handle. Means, resources, ability, lack, insufficiency, incapability. That's all about input one, vocabulary. Let us go to input two, comprehension skill. And what is a source for us to enrich the comprehension skill? Today's Hindu editorial. And where does it help your comprehension skill? Passage, close test, parajumble, scrambled sentences. And before I wind up the session, at the fag end of the session, I will talk about the course. Yesterday, I did one video you must have watched. Regarding that, the course, I will spend 2 or 3 minutes. And those who want to know, please wait till the fag end of the session. What is the stimulus here? I always tell students editorials are written based on events, incidents, policies, something very important triggers. That is a stimulus. What is it? Avoidable tragedy on the Hathras Stampede. A particular unfortunate incident, that is a stampede, could have been avoided. Based on that, had they taken precautions, it would have been avoided. Based on that, avoidable tragedy. What is the main idea? Mass gatherings should be tightly regulated. To at the back end of the session, I will tell. Please wait, not now. That's what I've just said. At the fag end of the session, I will talk about the course. I'll give the details. Please wait till that time. Mass gatherings should be tightly regulated to prevent Hathras type stampedes. What is required here? Mass gatherings should be tightly regulated. Tight regulation is required, and here it is in passive voice. We should regulate mass gatherings tightly. Passive voice, mass gatherings should be tightly regulated. Immediately you have to know. And what is the function of should? It is used to advise or suggest someone. Another function, possibility chances are less. And you should guess the broad framework. What could be the broad framework? What is the incident or event? And you have to take the fishbone approach. Simple. What happened, where it happened, when it happened, how it happened, who is responsible, and you can also say why it happened. You can bring this one to the fag end. Why it happened, who is responsible, and how it happened. The stampede at a religious congregation at Hathras in western Uttar Pradesh, claiming over 120 lives, is only the latest in a series of such tragedies in the country. The stampede, what is it about this sentence, the stampede? At where? At a religious congregation. Again, where? At Hathras in western Uttar Pradesh. And what exactly happened? Claimed over 120 lives, so many people died, is only, here the stampede is only, the subject is here, verb is here, the latest in a series of such tragedies in the country. Only the latest. Whenever you see the word only, you have to recollect the rule. We should use the word only before whatever it describes. She has solved the two problems only. Wrong. She has solved only two problems. It talks about the incident, what is the impact of that incident, and it is not an isolated incident. These have been going on for some time, perhaps for the last 2 decades, the editorial says. There have been at least half a dozen such incidents. Because it is incidents here, there have been, plural. There have been at least half a dozen such incidents in the last 20 odd years. This is a statement and this is a justification, not an isolated incident in a series of such tragedies in the country. Only the latest. How can we say that? The writer says there have been at least half a dozen such incidents in the last 20 odd years. In this instance, at least a lakh of people flocked to Falroy village. Flock usually goes with birds, but we can also use with people gathered to listen to an address by a preacher, Suraj Pal, also known as Narayan Sakar Hari or Bole Baba. He's a godman basically, and they all wanted to listen to him, to his uh, whatever he would say. But unfortunate incident took place that time. There are reports that there were over 2.5 lakh participants at the venue, which could accommodate no more than 80,000. That means it was jam packed. Now it talks about, based on the reports, there were how many people were present at that particular time. 2.5 lakh participants at the venue, which could accommodate, the venue could accommodate, or this one is about this one. The clause is about the venue, which could accommodate no more than 80,000 discourses, religious discourses, we say. The preacher is said to have followers in states such as Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Haryana too. It is about the preacher, how popular he is. He is popular in different states. And what are those states? He has followers in states such as MP, Rajasthan, and Haryana too. Most of the deceased, those who died, mainly women and children, were from the economically vulnerable sections, backward communities, downtrodden people, underprivileged people. These are the expressions you have to recollect of society, and were in search of spiritual solace. So unfortunate. They wanted spiritual solace. In that process, what happened? They lost their lives. That is something really not palpable, difficult to digest. While only a fair investigation can find out the cause for the stampede, what could be the exact reason? What might have triggered? The reasons being cited include, so many reasons are being cited, quoted. Those who were there, based on what they said, but actual reason you can find out. We will come to know only after fair investigation. While only a fair investigation can find out the cause for the stampede, the reasons being cited include overcrowding and the bid. Here, bid means attempt by some to collect soil from around the feet of the preacher. They must have considered the soil near the feet of the preacher holy, and they wanted to collect that soil. In that process, this must have resulted, according to uh, the reasons being quoted or cited. Not surprisingly, the responses, particularly from the field level public health system, have exposed how ill prepared the Uttar Pradesh administration is. It talks about the lack of regulation, lack of precautions. Not surprisingly, the responses, particularly from the field level public health system, have exposed. They could not respond immediately, perhaps, and that has exposed. All these things have exposed how ill prepared the Uttar Pradesh administration is. Visuals of bodies lying outside. When we go to grammar, I'll talk about that. Outside the place of post-mortem and of the kin desperate for help, badly in need of help, as well as an inadequate number of ambulances and medical staff have become the common features of such tragedies. General statement. Now the editorial says it has exposed how ill prepared the government is, and usually these incidents, they bring to surface all these lack of certain things which are indispensable. Visuals of bodies lying outside the place of post-mortem and of the kin desperate for help, as well as inadequate number of ambulances and medical staff, have become the common features of such tragedies. What has made it worse is the preacher and his aides helpers reportedly leaving the site. Even as panic stricken people were dying, they all went to listen to him while they were dying. The preacher and his the aides, they left the venue, they left the site while the panic stricken people, followers, were dying. The most tragic aspect, as seen in the past, is that it was all avoidable. The main idea is being reiterated. This could have been avoided had there been proactive steps taken by a vigilant administration. When it was 80,000 capacity, 2.5 lakh attended, there should have been some sort of precaution. The administration should have done something beforehand, should have been proactive. Unfortunately, the authorities in many states do not appear to have learned lessons or made use of the availability of better technology and communication. Today, we have better technology and better communication. They could have used those, but they haven't used and haven't learned the lessons. Apart from stringent action, strict action against those responsible, the UP administration should ensure a just compensation. Here, just means a fair compensation package, the cost of which has to be borne by the organizers. I will talk about this when we go to grammar section. The tragedy is a classic study in the management of large crowds. All this is related to how well you can manage large crowds, management of large crowds. The officials concerned, this is also very important. I will talk about this when we go to grammar. The officials concerned should ensure that the organizers have the wherewithal to handle large gatherings of any size. They should have the measures, or they should have the expertise and the manpower to handle large gatherings of any size. The local authorities and organizers should also conduct a drill ahead of such events. Mock drill, very useful. What is more important is that the political executive, the bureaucracy, and organizers of any public event should be conscious of the fact that the loss of a life is a tragedy for the person's family, irreplaceable tragedy for the person's family. That has to be kept in mind before going ahead with large scale events or incidents. That's all about. The last sentence says the arrangements for mass functions should be governed by this fact. Should be governed, again, passive voice, by this fact. Let us test your comprehension skill and your listening skill. Answer these questions quickly. Which section of society did most of the deceased belong to? Two groups have been mentioned. What are the two groups? Economically vulnerable sections, middle class sections, wealthy sections, government officials. Here, which section? In that, again, we came across women and children, economically vulnerable section. You can use that word also. But Millie has a different connotation. It has a different connotation. Millie goes with more confusion, chaotic. But Stampede goes more with loss of life. Whenever there is death, we use the word stampede. Chaos, melee, all those may talk about a confused state, but they may not reflect the idea of death. That is the subtle difference between the two. What were some of the reasons cited for the stampede at Hathras? Some of the reasons cited: natural disaster, no way. Overcrowding and attempts to collect soil from around the preacher's feet, clearly mentioned in the editorial. Technical failure, conflict between groups, no. What does the editorial criticize about Uttar Pradesh administration's response? Quick evacuation, not done. Efficient medical support, not there. Lack of preparedness and inadequate response. Deployment of too many resources, no. No resources as such. Answer is obviously C is the answer. Have you guys answered the third one? What does the editorial suggest should be ensured by the UP administration apart from stringent action against those responsible? On the one hand, the UP administration has to take stringent action against those who are responsible. On the other hand, it has to do something, that is compensation. A public apology, construction of a memorial, a just compensation package for the victims. That is, in a way, justification. Just package, compensation package. No one can replace the loss of life, but Just compensation, definitely, it is in a way compensation. That's why we use the word compensation. What is the most important fact that should govern the arrangements for mass functions according to the editorial? Large scale functions, what are the prerequisites? Economic impact of the event, the entertainment value of the event. One has to keep in mind the loss of a life is a tragedy for a person's family. Answer is C. What what is the most important fact that should govern the arrangements that should be kept in mind? Answer is the loss of a life is a tragedy for the person's family. Let us go to grammar inputs based on today's source. Some important expressions are there. The very first one, while only a fair investigation, fair has many meanings. One meaning, fair rather, but here we use a different form. Fairly rather. Adverbs, fairly has a positive connotation, rather usually has a negative connotation, and both mean the same. Meaning wise, no difference, moderate. But here, fair means just, proper. And what is the importance of the word only? We should use it before whatever that's very good. 5 out of 5. Only should be used before whatever it describes. Lying, very important. We have got many a time. First, you have to recollect lie as a noun. Then you have to recollect lie as a regular verb. Lie, lied, lied. These are easy. Then you have to recollect lie as an irregular verb. Then what is the past form lay? What is the past participle lain? And here, this is the one we are talking about. Ing form is what? Lying. It means what? It has two meanings. One, to be in the horizontal position while relaxing. The other one, to be in a particular state for a long time. It goes with the second meaning, to be in a particular state for a long time. Lying outside. The dead body is lying outside. And we have another verb, a separate verb altogether. What is that? Lay, laid, laid. It means to put something down. It goes with foundation stone, rules, regulations, roads, eggs, birds lay eggs. You take something, put it down, all these. You got to spend some time and make sure you know all these, the subtle differences. You may ask, sir, why? Every time I come across, I spend a few minutes. The reason being, under pressure, not easy. Contextual awareness, then only you can deal with these. So you got to be. This is something very important. What has made it worse? What is the adjective here bad? What is a comparative form worse? What is a superlative form worse? Same thing goes with the adverb badly. Badly, worse, worse. That you have to recollect. UP administration should ensure a just compensation package, the cost of which has to be borne by, very important. When you take the word bear, it can be a noun, an animal, brown bear, teddy bear, grizzly bear, polar bear. But bear can also be a verb. As a verb, it has many meanings. And the past form in this context, bore. But past participle, born and borne. Born means to carry, to carry. Born by the organizers. They may give a sentence like this in the exam and they may change the spelling. They may give born, not correct. It has to be borne. And this is also very important. Offline classes, online classes, I tell students quite often a common error. A lot of people say, I would like to meet the concerned person, concerned official, wrong. I would like to meet the official concerned, the official's concern. This is something you got to remember. It goes with common errors. The arrangements for mass functions should be governed, passive voice. They should govern something, something should be governed. Input 4, effective English inputs, we have idioms. Try to get all the 5 idioms. For some students, they are quite familiar. Take a back seat, to be in the background. Swim with the tide. Do as a majority do. Majority people do. It's understood. Pandora's box, collection of evils. The more you open, the more problems you are exposed to. Pent up emotions, repressed emotions, ill at ease, uneasy, worried, not comfortable. What is the order? DEACB. All the five correct, you should be happy. Grammar rules inputs, all these exam topics you can handle if you learn 200 grammar rules. The two brothers argued with one another. Wrong. What is the reason? Here we are talking about two brothers. And if you take a rule, goes with reciprocal pronouns. What is that rule? We have two reciprocal pronouns. One is each other, we use when we talk about two persons or two things, two persons or things, two things. And one another, more than two persons or more than two things, more than two. Here we are talking about two persons, then we cannot say one another. We have to say each other. Yes. Writing skill inputs, I have been telling you guys, write about a stampede you have seen or you have read or you have experienced. Exam topics inputs. Today I have brought error location 3 questions. Try to get all the 3 correct. A robust opposition can also act as an effective restraint on the government, preventing it from bulldozing opposition with its legislative agenda. Where is the error? Here, a robust opposition means strong opposition, nothing wrong, can also act as an effective restraint. No. Effective, there's a word effective, but it means it goes with moods or emotions. Here, the right word is effective. Effective, making the impact. And effective goes with moods and emotions. Both are different. We have to use the word effective. The roles of the Lok Sabha Speaker and Rajya Sabha Chairman gain additional prominence. Where is the error? The roles of the Lok Sabha Speaker and Rajya Sabha Chairman, the roles gain additional prominent. Prominent, this question is based on word form. A prominent personality means what? Adjective, important personality. But gain what? We need uh, the noun form. What is the noun form here? Prominence, noun. Based on that, prominent is not correct. It has to be prominence. Very good. I am glad to know that. Surendra. Sleep plus, I usually say sleeps topic, sleeps. The acronym I have created, sleeps. Which job have you got? Glad to know that. And at the outset, congratulations. Happy for you. The right word here is a prominence, not prominent. It is based on word forms. The last one, uh, starters, models, and slowly I'll be bringing new models. Don't worry about that. Monday to Saturday, I'm going to inform beforehand. 1 or 2 days, I'm going to change everything here. SBI Junior Assistant, wonderful. Surendra, congratulations again. I wish you all the best. Have a bright banking career. Others, please congratulate him. He has got SBI Junior Assistant. That's wonderful. A smart uptick in May's index number for the farm input from the revised reading for April, however, offer a glimmer of hope. What is the subject here? A smart uptick when in May's index or where in May's index number, a phrase, for the farm input, a phrase, from the revised reading for April, a phrase, however, Offer. The actual verb is here. Because the subject is a smart uptick, it's a noun phrase. The last word is a key word, uptick, singular. And the sentence is in present tense, affirmative form. What is the rule here? If the sentence is in present tense, affirmative form, and the subject is third person singular, we should add s or es to the verb. Based on that, it is not offer, it has to be offers. Uptick, offers. Now, let me spend a few minutes on the course. Yesterday, I did one video, English Success Plan and Master English in 100 Days. I have listed out topic wise 100 days, first 50 days a prelims point of view, and second 50 days mains point of view, what to learn, what one has to learn to get the final selection in a systematic way. Based on this, I'm going to launch a course. It is going to be for 100 days, and you have to wait just after the session. Download the app. To download the app, but we give half an hour time. Download the app after 10 o'clock, you will find the course. And to download the app, you have to go to the description of the video after the session. The link has been provided. Otherwise, go to Google Play Store, Murthy's English, then you download and you go to courses. You can purchase the course if you want. And it is going to be the same schedule, 100 days, day one, whatever I said yesterday, same schedule I'm going to teach in that particular course, following the same schedule. You have to wait till perhaps 9:30. Before 9:30, don't download the app, or if you download, also wait. After 9:30, you will see. Look for 100 days, master English in 100 days. That is a tagline. And also, English success plan. It is going to be in bilingual first. And today I may do another video, those who want in English. And similar one I'm going to do for SSC also. 100 days plan, how to go about. Whether you purchase the course or not, if you follow that plan and watch that video will provide the inputs, how to plan your 100 days and how to get the selection. And I told yesterday also, if you can't purchase the course today, there's no dearth of information. So many sources are there. You can depend, everything you may not get, but to a great extent you can learn. Today, so many sources, online, offline. But when you enroll in a course, that saves your time and you'll be taken in the right direction. All the details you can find when you download the app. Please wait till 9:30. That's all for today. Have a nice